Good morning, everyone. Can you see and hear me is my first question. And of course, can you see the Fit for Drinking Water homepage already? If you can just leave a thumb up or so, someone, that would be very helpful for me.
Good morning, Mark. Yes, loud and clear
Yes.
and visible. Good
Well,
morning, everybody.
perfect. Good morning.
Mark, there is one question from two people, no, from one person who cannot hear us. Is it still the case? Can you hear us now?
Oh, well, I can hear you, Leonard, very well.
Yeah, and I can hear you very well as well. So I think problem has been solved.
Yeah. Well, I will start with one or two sentences and then I will pass over to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 9:30 German time or European time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the whole wide world. My name is Mark Stecken, and I have the big pleasure to be the host and the moderator of this today's webinar for you. I'm the project manager here in Fit4DrinkingWater.com, and the next hour we want to spend on showing you our database and all the advantages in saving time and saving cost for you, which come with this database for you and your business. This webinar is split into 4 parts. We will receive some opening words from Ronald Carrell, the product unit manager of Kiwa, who is one of the shareholders of Fit for Drinking Water. Then I will show you shortly around through our database, how you can find something, what are the information in there. We will have then a prepaid or prepared Q&A session for you. We took it from a couple of demos before, what is the most important questions you all have, and then everything is open for your questions. So you see there is a Q&A section in this webinar, so the chat is deactivated, but you can write all the questions into the Q&A session, and of course we try to answer them all. If not, we answer you personally later on to that everyone gets the answer. Yes, one more notification, this webinar is recorded, so please be aware that we have a record of this. And then I would say, Ronald, the stage is yours. Thanks for some welcoming words.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Well, good morning, good day, everybody. On behalf of Fit for Drinking Water, I warmly welcome you to this webinar. This webinar will take 1 hour, will end at 10:30, and I'm sorry that some of you were not very clear on what was the starting time of this webinar. But hopefully you will enjoy this webinar. I'm really proud that I can welcome you officially on behalf of Fit for Drinking Water. Fit for Drinking Water is a newborn company and is an initiative from DVGW and Kiwa and is strongly supported by Figawa. During the ISH show of March 25, Fit for Drinking Water was announced to go live at the 1st of July. And both from Kiwa as from DVGW, we worked hard to keep our promise. And since early July, Fit for Drinking Water is live and is open for subscriptions for raw material manufacturers and from manufacturers to register their materials and products. Fit for Drinking Water's goal is to eliminate the inefficiencies in the process of proving compliance to the hygienic standards, both for national legislation but also for the upcoming Drinking Water Directive. Figawa is driving Fit for Drinking Water to make sure that Fit for Drinking Water provides the right service to the market and that the right functionalities can be found in the database. My name is Ronald Karel. Both Mrs. Gabrielle Schmidt from DVGW and myself, we are running the management team for Fit for Drinking Water, and I really wish you a good webinar. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Ronald. Once again, welcome from my side. And what you already can see, I hope you can see my screen, but I guess so. Otherwise, probably have come questions up. This is the database, the landing page of this database, as you can see it. And let me first tell you, this is our demo database. Why I'm presenting on the demo database, we will come up later to this point, because just as Ronald just mentioned, Fit for Drinking Water is just live. And in the live database, there is not so many materials like in the demo database. So when you are registered, because you like the webinar, you like the product, at the end of this call, you see yourself as well, like me, registered in here. So I'm registered as a subscriber. You will find your name as well. You're on the right-hand corner. And then, like on every database, there is no big difference to Google or something. There is a search bar in the middle. We can search directly for products, etc. And then we have some shortcuts, helping functions in the database for searching. You can either search here for material groups which you are interested in, or you can search for the manufacturers. So if you are a raw material supplier, if you are an end product producer, if you are a test laboratory, all people and all entities who bring quality with input to this database are listed here. Or you are just interested in a special approval system, for example, like the Germany Uber approval. Then you can filter everything it's in there for Germany, for example, or for the other Netherlands. And again, as I'm just presenting on the demo database, in the live database, there's already the new European Drinking Water Directive as well in here as the upcoming new approval system, which is valid from the end of next year. You can have a search for applications and of course, temperatures of your product you're using. Is it for cold use, warm, hot, and so on. And then we have here 6 hot buttons as well. They are changing always because the programming is that they are showing the last 6 most used products over the last couple of weeks. So we have now here something in the database, in the demo database. However, it could be once you're joining the live database that there are others because somebody else looked for something completely different overnight and spent a real research on it. So let's go into the details then on the database. I'm searching something for the very well-known faked manufacturer Fit4Drinking Co. And then you see you come up to the next page and you can see what this manufacturer has all in this database. So he has a lot of products and a lot of things in there, and you're interested is for a fitting, and you see is as well interested for the German Uber system. So there's nothing in for the Durac 51, which you are interested in for France, Netherlands, but here for the German Uber. Then you just click on it and you come to the next page. And this page has all the necessary information about who's the manufacturer, what is the material, what is the material group, how it looks like, is it granulate, it comes in bags, and so on. And even more, you can click on this one. You see here are some pictures already, but what does this picture means? There is a yellow tick mark showing that the certificate, we will have a look later on it, is expiring soon, or more or less in 5 days. So it shows you as a user of the database, oh, be careful, this is no longer for eternity. This should be, there should be coming someone else. And we as the Fit4Drinking Water, our service is, of course, if we come across something like expiration date soon or even outdated, we of course inform you or the person who has to do something new. Nevertheless, you can leave as well an expired certificate in there. So the temperature class is for cold. That's what the ice is here. And then it's just the verification status. It's something like this. If you are participating in the database and want to show others your documents, you pre-upload to a pre-database, let's say. Something like, for example, in booking.com, if you write a recession, somebody is reading this as well. And we do as well. We have a quality gate in Fit4Drinking Water, and we're using for the time being Kiwa and DVGW CERT to be the quality reviewer. And whatever the certificate or the document is, it's quality reviewed by us before. And then if it's verified, it's uploaded by us, the Fit4Drinking Water, to the database. That should ensure that the database is not flooded with documents, but is always with correct and perfect quality in there. You can see this document has a report number. It was uploaded by the test laboratory of DVGW, the TZW. And then you can click on this one. And you can press the download all button. And funny enough, it shows up and I show you is the demo database. It's a little bit, as a lot of people are in in this. Nevertheless, I don't know if it's coming up or not. Here we go. Hopefully, then you can see. Yeah, there is a now from the DVGW CERT. There is a certification. Of course, it's blinded. It's a demo database, but as the user of the database, you can see everything which is in the database, and there are no confidential information in there. Everything which is in the database can be seen by everyone. So we just did 3 clicks and pressed upload. So you can see how easy that is. Yeah, as well to. Then there is go back function, of course, and there is the back to house. Yeah, to the main. Let's go for another manufacturer. I have to scroll a little bit. Just wanted to show you something here. For example, as I just said, there should be as well outdated ones in there for the time being. You see, it was already outdated a couple of years ago, but it's still in there. Yeah, just to see there are as well other symbols. But I think there is a good symbol guidance for you through the database, and yeah, that this always gives you the with first view, because you see the symbols, a first glance to what is yeah being in there and what is it for. And one last thing, using the search button here, the search bar in the middle, you can search as well as I did now for ticks. And you see, we are looking for RHO compounds and for high performance thermoplastics. And we are knowing that the Fit4DW Co, this manufacturer, has as well something. And you can see this time you are interested in the Dutch market. And again, see, it's expiring soon. The expiration date, it's for cold and warm, and it's verified. And there is no difference. I can upload a second document, of course, to show you. This is quick, of course, just if it shows up. Yeah, and you can see now here would be a certificate as well blanked by from Kiwa in Netherlands, as we had a look to the Dutch approval system and to this component. Yeah, that's more or less it. It is really easy to serve and handle the database, and yeah, I think that gives you the first overview to what this database could, what is available. Everything is more, from my perspective, on one view or just 3 clicks away to the final document. No long certification process any longer, but 3 clicks. Yeah, and having said that, I think I switch over, not showing you the database, but as well to do some more detailed questions here as well for you. Can you see my? Yeah, and as I said and Ronald said, we are just live, but however, we are live since 2 months when the Fit4DW BV was established finally. But we did a soft launch as well on the ISH in March in Frankfurt this year. And probably, Leendert, you can tell us something more about what has happened since then, especially since the 1st of July.
Yes, yes, please. Indeed. Thank you very much, Mark. And yeah, it's great to see so many people are here. So thank you for attending. And it's a big honor. I have one little remark before I answer the question, Mark, because I see that there is a live caption section and people are also asking questions in that part, but then we cannot really see it. So if you have questions, please write them down in the Q&As and not somewhere else, because otherwise we can really not see the questions. So, okay, yeah. What has happened? Well, a lot has happened, as you know very well, Mark. You were extremely busy with everything as well. No, so on the ISH we had a soft launch, so we had a very good opportunity to have presentations in public, well organized by Figava. And then finally, on the 1st of July, the company was established. So we were really proud and happy that then we were able to launch the database. And then also we had spent a lot of effort in setting up all the key processes for the data handling, continuous improvement of the database, because we receive, fortunately, a lot of suggestions from you. Because for the product manufacturers, especially the assembled product manufacturers, it's for a very big value that they don't need to test their products themselves. And that it is also good that they request the suppliers to be in the database. And so we have also created supportive documents that you can find in the website. And so if you want to have a nice template that you can send to your supplier, it's all in the website fit4DW.com. It are different documents actually. Then there is a quite huge section of frequently asked questions. Because fortunately we receive a lot of questions from all of you, so that's really great. And in the website there is also the possibility to demand a one-on-one demo. And in the meantime, we have held over 100 demonstrations to different clients. So that was quite some effort. Of course, we have taken a lot of effort in promoting the Fit for Drinking Water database, and we are still ongoing with that. And we receive also a lot of market feedback that is also incorporated now until we are here. So we are continuously working on that. And for example, the enhanced filter features, we have put that in already now. And finally, we have this website. So here we are. That's quite a lot of effort we have done.
Yeah, sounds like a huge action package we did. I presented on the demo database, and because in the live database is still not so much input. And can you tell more about to all these people out there why and the reasons why the database is more or less still empty?
Yeah, I can do that for sure. The database is still empty, but on the background, a lot is happening. We have at the moment 4 large raw material manufacturers who are really eager to register. And then, of course, a lot of materials will be inside. And at the moment, they are in the reviewing process of reviewing all the details, because there are a lot of people involved in this huge organizations. And this takes time. So we expect soon to have, of course, the database filled. But at the moment, they are all in the reviewing process. But again, they are committed to register. And but it takes time, which is of course normal.
Okay. So ready that we will have the first then signing after this webinar. I think this now comes up the most important slides. As there are many, of course, potential clients for the database, like test laboratories, certification bodies, but the majority is, of course, manufacturers and raw material suppliers. And here's the first group, the manufacturers, how these groups save time and money in practice with our database. I think to show the advantages, I think is most important.
Yeah, I think, Tony, you prepared this one, didn't you?
Yes, that is correct. Yes, okay. I have prepared it. Yeah. So because in many meetings we got the request and the question. So what does this actually do for us? So that's why we worked together on an example of something that really shows the benefit, like a worst and best case scenario if Fit for Drinking Water and no previous testing will be taken into account, and the one with all the compliance documents in Fit for Drinking Water. Just a small disclaimer, the pricing, and it's just had to give you a broad idea of the big differences that it could give. And let's say, for example, in this example, there's a faucet which exists out of many elements. with Fit for Drinking Water, it will be very easy for each and every element to find a supplier which already has conducted certain testing on that element. And depending on the risk group, of course, you can skip this testing or partially, which saves, of course, a lot of time and money. And then the first step of this process, of course, the formulation review also is not necessary anymore, and therefore also causing savings in time and money. So therefore, we wanted to display this. Don't take it completely as 100% accurate. The pricing is just to give you a broad idea of how big the differences could be.
Yeah, but nevertheless, you see, even if it's not totally accurate, even if it would be 75% accurate, is a huge saving in money. And of course, which I believe in today's, we live in the 22nd century, 21st, sorry, century. Time and money, as we always say, the money saving is huge as well. Not the money, sorry, I mean the time saving here. It's more than a year that you can save with through our database.
Yeah, and also gives a lot of confidence, because it could very well be that you spend a lot of time and money on a formulation review or whatsoever, and then somewhere in the process you find, hey, this is not suitable for drinking water, and you lose a lot of time. You have to start over again. So a lot of benefits, I would say.
Yeah. Thanks, Tony, for this very nice picture. I think it shows again with one view what are the advantages from our database.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, let's coming to the other big group that I mentioned before, the raw material suppliers, and how they could save time and money as well using our database Fit for Drinking Water.
Yeah, okay. Can I then see the next slide, please? Because I think that shows a nice picture with the differences. Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit small, at least in my screen, but it gives a good impression. So even if it is small, you can see the big differences. The way it was until now, then the raw material suppliers, they sell their materials to many different kind of final product manufacturers. And each of them did the drinking water approval. So each of them came via their chosen certification body or testing laboratory. They knocked on the door of the raw material suppliers. Please give us your details, give us your recipes, your formulations, because we need it for the testing for client A. And the other certification body needed for client B, and so on. Meaning that there is a lot of traffic going on, a lot of different, I would say that processes, a lot of communications with certification bodies, and every time, you expose the recipe, the formulation, every time it's of course a risk. And you can see that in the different channels here, that there are an unbelievable amount of communication channels, which means also a lot of work for the manufacturers. In the new situation with Fit for Drinking Water, the homologation documents, the compliance documents are in Fit for Drinking Water. And so meaning that you don't need to do it over and over again. You only need it once every 5 years. So within Fit for Drinking Water, these documents are managed and routed to the people who need it for the approval, for the certification of the final product. And that's of course a very big benefit that we also hear from the raw material manufacturers. It really saved them a lot of time and also money in that case. A lot of legal procedures internally, because again, only once every 5 years this is needed. And in the other hand, where they do the testing themselves, some of them, they have their own testing, and then their products are visible through the window of the certification body, but not through any other window. With Fit for Drinking Water, it has all the different certification bodies who certified the materials, meaning that they are also visible in a much broader area. So any manufacturer wherever in the world who needs a certain approved material, they can find it regardless which certification body. So this means that a lot of more persons can find their materials based on the filters on certification, temperatures, etc.
Yeah, clear for me now, Leonard. So yeah, again, a lot of savings, time, money, complexiness, and so on. Yeah, should be fine with our database. I hope we could, yeah, show you what are all the pros from the database using it.
Yeah.
Then I learned from you while you said what we did since we have been established, that we spent a lot of time, or not a lot, but important point of time on, yeah, let's say uncertainties of potential customers who contacted us. Yeah, maybe you can describe a little bit what raw material suppliers can expect from us as well under, yeah, what your view of the most uncertainties this group has, especially about confidential data handling. I think that's for this group very important.
Yeah, that's clear. Indeed, the first concerns of the raw material manufacturers is what happens with the classified information, the secret information. Well, they are going not to be in the database. In the database, there are test certificates, there are product certificates that can be used for further certification. In these documents, there are no secret documents. They stay with the certification body. In case, and that I think that will be answered with a little bit further on in this webinar, but in case information is needed for retesting or something like that, then it still can come from the participating certification bodies. So, but it will not be in the database. Who knows in the future, but for now, not at all. So there's no need to have any worry on that. But of course, we need to convince the raw material manufacturers, and they want to have proof of that. So they want to investigate that, of course.
Okay, yeah. So then I hope we convince them with that there is no confidential data and problems any longer. Yeah, then I heard the word, or 3 words, by the way, key data agreements from you while you said what we've done and spent time on it. Maybe, yeah, a couple of sentences as well from your side about key data agreements.
Yeah, of course. What we have arranged, and also based on the market experiences until now, that there are very clear contracts, between Fit for Drinking Water and the product manufacturers. Then there are also clear contracts between Fit for Drinking Water and the raw material manufacturers, and if needed, with additionally NDA if they wish. And so but again, it's not really needed, but because there is no information. But if they insist, we can do that. Of course, that if there is any, how to say that, secret information, we will not, confidential information, we will not, of course, expose that. Then, of course, the structure of the notification authorizations. Who can bring in data into Fit for Drinking Water? Well, the model that we have chosen, and it's also reviewed by legal persons, is that we are going to work with introducers. These introducers, this can be certification bodies or testing laboratories, who need to comply with certain requirements, of course. They will have a contract, and then they are able to upload data, certificates, test reports, etc., into the Fit for Drinking database. Of course, they need to have the permission of their clients, but then it's a good way because they can also already pre-review all the certificates and reports. Of course, then a separate contract is done with the introducers, including non-disclosure agreements, etc.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, clear for me as well on that point. Thank you, Leendert.
Okay, pleasure.
Yeah, the next part of the webinar will be your questions. However, I would like to summarize already here a little bit. If you have more questions or want more information, go to fit4drinkingwater.com. We will go together. There is a FAQ section. And what you can see as well, there is a possibility, as Leendert already mentioned, I think twice, there is the possibility to sign up for your own personal demo. If you say, oh, the Mark was so quick and fast running through the database, I have not really understood everything, you can sign up and get your personal demo as well there.
Yeah.
So I will go with you all then to, can't see the homepage any longer, but it doesn't matter. So as I said, there is a FAQ section, and there is as well the sign up. And there is a film as well, where you can see what is the database doing, showing as well and explaining what are your advantages. So I stop sharing now that I can see what are the questions in the Q&A section so far.
Okay, yeah, there are quite some questions already landing in.
Okay.
For example, let me check. Is the material in this database also compliant with the Drinking Water Directive positive list? The database is for materials and not for substances, not yet for substances. The Drinking Water Directive is one of the certification schemes that are in the database. Of course, at the moment, it's not possible yet to have certificates according to the Drinking Water Directive because it will be valid from the 1st of January 2027. And that's a total different subject. I know there are a lot of questions about that. But for the Fit for Drinking Water, of course, the Drinking Water Directive will be one of the schemes inside, meaning that you can also see if materials are certified according to that, and according to which temperatures, which risk groups, etc. So I hope this will answer the question. Then there is another question. Is the database planned to store certificates of final assembled products as well, or is it dedicated to the materials only? Of course, this is a question we are also considering internally. At the moment, it is intended for the materials and for sub-assemblies, so for sub-assemblies and materials and components, so that manufacturers who make a final product, regardless if it is a water meter, a faucet, or a pipe, that they can find the right supplies, if it is raw material or if it is sub-assemblies or components, etc. So on that level, for now, that will come in the database.
Yeah, but to add to your Leonard, I've done a couple of demos as well for end product manufacturers, and they are very interested to put in as well their, let's say, final product certificates, as this is, let's say, the bird perspective. And of course, raw material suppliers, they can look as well, oh, look, I've never known that this end product is in there, and they could need my raw materials. So yeah, they could have a look what raw materials are interesting for them in our database. But again, as well, the raw material suppliers and the assembled product, so middle product, let's say, they could look at what end products are out in the wide world and make themselves as well, available for those end producers.
Okay,
so
it's a good, it's a good point, because it's possible without adjusting anything. So it's very all possible, but I think we need to decide on that, and then also final products can be in, of course. But of course,
go ahead.
This needs to be decided by the managers of Fit for Drinking Water.
Okay, before we forgot, there was one more. If the data, one question, the database manage also a certification process flow, or is it only a database? I think this one is only a database, as I just presented. You see all the search function and so on. It will not manage the certification process for your company in there. We just, as Leonard, I think, very well explained for the raw material suppliers, it makes the life more easier, as you probably can use already a certificate or something which you find in the database, so you don't have to do it by yourself, spend all the time, spend all the money. You can directly contact this, let's say, manufacturer, raw material supplier, and tell them, oh, this is exactly what I need, it's certificated, let's get in contact. So that is what the database can do, but not actively manage your certification process flow.
Yeah. Who knows in the far future? Then where it will
he
go
says
to.
we can just answer for the time being, of course.
Yeah, no, exactly. There is a question not directly related to the database, but okay, I can answer that. If a plastic part is UBA approved for Germany, is it allowed to sell this part without additional testing towards ACS? That's France. The answer is no. Reduce testing, but if you please leave me an email with this question, I can answer you in more detail. But again, this is a question regarding the ACS approval system. But yeah, so only reduced testing is the answer. Who needs to upload the certificate, the producer or the certification bodies? Yeah, only introducers can upload documents, and the introducers for the moment are DVGW, CERT, and Kiwa. But other parties have already announced that they are interested to do that. So other certification bodies or testing laboratories, but at least who are independent. They can be selected to be an introducer, and so they can upload documents as well. Yeah.
Unfortunately, somebody put in a question with just one letter per line.
Yeah, but that is what I said. That is in the live captions.
Yeah, and that's true.
Yeah, that is. Are all the big certification bodies signed up already? Well, we have had several meetings with all the certification bodies because we are also a member and chairing the Committee of Future Notified Bodies. And they are all quite positive about it. And some of them have already said, yeah, we want to be an introducer soon. So yeah, it's because they also see the benefit of having their processes simplified. They can help more clients, especially now with the big wave coming to us on the Drinking Water Directive and, of course, the transitional period. Yeah, the prices. What is the price for the access to the database? Mark, you would like to answer that?
Honestly, not. I'm not prepared. I forgot on this one to prepare.
Okay.
I think that we have a, early adopter rebate, which is valid to mention here. So there will be a price, and you probably correct me. It is for the raw material suppliers 3,500 euros per year, or for a 12 months membership to the database. However, this is the early adopter price if you join already in 2025, and it's regardless if you join today or on Sylvester of 2025, this rebate or this price is valid for you. For the end producers or the manufacturers, I think is a little bit higher, is about 5,600 if I'm correctly informed. But again, afterwards it's not double or so, it's just a little bit higher from next year's on. And it's always like that, is a 12 months membership for the database. And you can, as I think Lena and myself mentioned already a lot, you can always plug and play. So everything is in the database, is always available for you. You can put your own material in there. And coming back to Tony's example, where we saved more than 100,000 on one single, let's say, end product. Yeah, I think the price is very valid to compare to your actual cost for this 12 months membership. And of course, it's prolonging and so on, but that's of course data details which comes later then.
Yeah, no, it's not for nothing that I asked you, because I had the same. I didn't know it out of my head exactly by heart. So it's but these are, I think these are the correct figures, and they are well checked also in the market, because and we have chosen to have a simple model for this. But at least that the cost can be very easily, how to say that, earned back for the members. Okay. What do we have here? If a material has been tested by a laboratory, for example, a test report, KTWB-WGL has been conducted, but it's not certified. Is it suitable for the Drinking Water Directive? Yeah, this is also not a question really about Fit for Drinking Water. But the question is no, because the Drinking Water Directive requests much more testing than KTW, because we also have to test with chloride water and some other migration testing. I see a question here. I'm registered and logged in. Why can't I see manufacturers? If you are already a member of the database, then we mentioned it is at the moment it is still empty. But if you are in the demo, then you should be able to see it. And if not, please send me an email. And I know the person who asked this has my email address, so then we can contact separately. Yeah, Mark, question for you. Will you send us your presentation?
Yeah, of course I can do this. I hope we can find all these. At the peak, there were 363 persons in there. So, yeah, but nevertheless, we will find out, and of course, I can send the presentation. No, that's not a problem. Or as well, not the presentation was not really meaningful because it just highlighted some of the titles which on our discussion. I think the recording would be more feasible for everyone of this webinar.
Yeah. Okay.
Or maybe better, before we send out, we can put it as well on the homepage, then it can be uploaded.
Yes, that's a good one. We will, better. We will put the presentation on the Fit4DW.com website. There you can find it. Are there any possibilities to centralize drinking water certifications for the EU, ACS, Kiwa, NL, ACS, Kiwa UK, ATA, NSF, etc.? If this is not possible, what are the main reasons? I do not entirely understand this question. At the moment, of course, we have different regulations per country. During the introduction periods, if you have a valid certificate for those countries before the introductional period, you can remain using them until 2033. So that's why it is important that also the different schemes like Regulation 4 in the UK or France, ACS, like KTW, Kiwa, they are in the Fit for Drinking database because a lot of you, a lot of manufacturers, they want to use the transitional period and so the national regulations. And that's why, it has a big value that they are into the Fit for Drinking database. Does or will the database allow a search based on the requirements and download the key infos for Excel? For example, display all materials that in principle would fulfill risk group 1 and 2. I don't think it's possible, but I'm not sure, to be honest. But I don't think that we have...
For the time being, I think we have no download to Excel function, and we have no search function for risk factors 1, 2, 3 in there. But as Leonard mentioned, we are learning from you as potential customers every day to optimize and make this database better. So, yeah. I hope that our technical team is as well in this call and just write it down to program new functionalities as well, which I think for risk factor 1, 2, 3 is a very nice one.
Yeah. Then I have a question here. What about RAS certificates? I could not see them among the certification list under the roll down. Yes, but they are in. So the UK system is also one of the systems inside the demo. But it's a good remark. I think we have to update the demo with some extra demo documents for the British regulations as well. Sorry, the UK regulations as well. Thank you for this tip. Until the end of the transition period in 2032, there will be several national regulations plus the DWD listed in the database. What about the transition period when the national regulations are no longer active? Will this still be online, but then only for DWD? And all the documents that can be needed for certification will be inside. It could be that outside of the European Union, there are still some test reports or test certificates available and also useful. Then these documents will, of course, be inside. But in the future, let's say we are 10 years further, then, of course, the landscape in the database will look different because some of the schemes do not exist anymore. And test reports have also no validity anymore then. Okay.
The thing here is if a manufacturer does not want to show material details which can be visible on the certificates, how should this be managed? Is in there. well, again, about the confidential part. As Leenda and myself mentioned, there is no confidential information. You can, the process will be like that. As I said, mentioned, you pre-upload a document to a pre-database, and then you have some kind of upload calls with our, let's say, team, which is from the introducer, which really look to the quality gate and look to the document. And everything you as the owner of the certificate or whatever the test will think these are confidential will be either blanked or not uploaded. So there will be no confidential information in there.
No. I see to another question. Is it possible to get information which raw material cannot be approved? No, only approved materials will be inside a database. Of course, they can be limited to P3 for Germany or risk group 4 for the European directive. So meaning they cannot be used, the documents cannot be used for a higher risk group. But no, so rejects will not be included in the database. There's a good question here. Where is the advantage of the database for manufacturers of assembled products when you have components in risk group P1? Risk group P1 or risk group 1. P1 and risk group 1 is a little bit different because for the KTW BWGL, P1 says, okay, you can use raw material certificates, however, only for the recipe evaluation. That gives already a very big benefit because it means that you don't have to do the recipe evaluation again. And especially the recipe evaluation or formulation review, it is called for the European directive. You don't need to do that anymore. And this is a very long, slow and time consuming and effort consuming process. And you will save a lot of cost already and time because you can use the recipe evaluation or formulation review certificate. And of course, you need to test the product on the final product. So you need to do the migration testing on the final product. So you need to have testing parameters. And there, Fit for Drinking Water is the perfect bridge between you and also the certification body who has the details. And of course, then a separate NDA has to be arranged. But we have now good thoughts on that and a good process on that to make that very easy then. So as risk group 1 or P1 product manufacturer, the big benefit is if you have the documents already in the database, you can immediately start with testing and not waiting months for the formulation review. Okay.
Next question is about multiple custom-made materials which are casted or extruded from polymers. Can you answer this one, Linus? I'm not an expert on polymers, honestly.
Can you repeat, please?
We have multiple custom-made materials which are casted or extruded from polymers. Would these starting polymers be in the database eventually?
The starting substances are not in the database, but the raw material on raw material level. So in words of UBA and in words of the European directive, pre-products and intermediate products will be in the database. So substances not, but of course, if you see that a raw material is certified, you know that it consists on starting substances that are on the positive list, according to that approval scheme.
Yeah. Okay. When will the real database be online? It is online. And how many materials manufacturers are listed? Yeah, as I mentioned, not so many so far as we just started. And Leenda, I think, explained very well the reasons for it as a starting point between the start just now and the real life database. That's why I demonstrated on the demo database. My answer is, in how many materials manufacturers are listed? In a couple of months, hopefully in 1.5 years, all materials manufacturers who ever have a contact point with drinking water in Europe, at least. So
yeah, again, we have at the moment for quite big manufacturers who are how to say it, in the preparation stage. So then a lot of materials will be inside. And also quite some smaller ones who will come into it. So yeah, it's a matter of weeks, maybe some months indeed. And like Mark said, in 1.5 years, all of them, they will for sure be inside. Nice question. Don't we get this service for free when we open a certification project with Kiwa or DVGW?
Very nice question.
Please discuss it with Kiwa and DVGW separately. But I think the answer is no. But of course, you have to ask that to the individual companies. And we, as Fit for Drinking Water, we cannot answer this. We will not give discount on that. I'm sorry, as Fit for Drinking Water. But yeah, it's a good question. In the UBA webinar, it was clearly highlighted that only final materials will be certified and not intermediate products. According to my understanding, UBA is trying to convince the EU to go for certificates for pre-products, but these certificates will not be certificates according to DWD. So can we store the old national certificates, but for intermediate products in future, there will be no certificates anymore? Very good question. Of course, it has not really something to do with Fit for Drinking Water. However, all the certificates that you can have on your materials or products, no matter if it is an intermediate product or a pre-product, can be in the database. And of course, the scope of the certificate determines the scope of the application. And also some side information. So the group of future notified bodies have initiated the guidance documents. They are now for review at the European Union. And in these guidance documents, there is foreseen a certification scheme for intermediate and pre-products, such that the cooperating or the notified bodies who are member of the future notified body group will accept these certificates according to the guidance documents. But indeed, the European directive does not cover intermediate or pre-products. Okay.
Can membership costs shared within the same legal entity, more users within the same membership? Yeah, the answer is the prices I just mentioned is per legal entity. So for example, the Stecken GmbH as end producer, they will pay the 5,600 now, as they have already joined, is then for this legal entity or whatever, the Daimler-Benz AG, something like this. More users within the same membership. Yeah, there will be a sign-on for a dedicated person. And of course, it's strictly forbidden, and we check this as well with the database to give it then from the Stecken GmbH to the Daimler-Benz AG. What you do within your company, as you have probably IT rights as well, not to share your own login and so on, we cannot check as Fit for Drinking Water BV. But yeah, the costs are one-time costs for your entity. So if you upload, if you are, for example, grower and you upload all your end product certificates, which will be probably a couple of hundred, then the membership is still the same. It's just the 5,600. It's not per certificate or test report or recipe or so on.
Okay. Then there is a question, does it make sense for risk group 1 P1 manufacturers, I think, that the recipe evaluation is started by the material compound manufacturer, then the report is saved in the database. This will save time and cost for the user of the material and will avoid that a manufacturer or a final part will share the recipe analysis with competitors if it pays for the analysis. I think I understand the question. Yes, it definitely makes sense, because if the raw material manufacturer or the compound manufacturer has done the complete formulation review / recipe evaluation, then they receive a certificate, an official certificate. Then you know that for a certain application, of course, in this case, risk group 1, meaning you can use the material, the recipe will be approved. And like I already explained, so as a risk group 1 manufacturer, you have to do the final migration testing on the final product, meaning you need to get the test parameters which is totally different than the formulation. It's not the recipe. You only need the test parameters, and Fit for Drinking Water can be the bridge between the certification body who has the test parameters and the manufacturer and the raw material manufacturer. And we have foreseen processes for that as well. I hope this answers the question.
Are the testing bodies like HUC, TZW, CASO, Eurofins are using this database to check recipe review?
Yeah, we are in very close.
With the TZW, I could answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just as well a daughter company of DVGW, so yes.
Yeah, the answer is yes, they will use it, and of course only if the clients approve it, because but they have to be an official introducer first, and this will not cost them any money, but then they can upload it indeed, and with the permission, of course, of the owners of the documents. That's logic. What about if a component supplier has the certificate but is not subscribed or registered to Fit for Drinking Water database, and its supporting certificate is directly to the component user? Will be this component part of the database if the sample product manufacturer registers to the database? Any product or material, and of course we have to we will expose soon what about the final products, but any product or component material who has a certificate, a valid certificate, therefore it can be uploaded in the Fit for Drinking Water. So the answer is yes, it is possible.
There was a question as well from Alice about, again, the saving money advantage on the database. Could you explain how this database could be helpful in saving money during the certification process? If I can't have access to the recipe of the material I'm using to produce gaskets and so on, and I need a recipe review to start with the DVD test, it means that also the supplier need to access the database and upload the recipe.
No, it's not needed. If a recipe or a formulation is approved, is certified, then it will have a certificate. Again, it's not according to the DWD, but according to the guidance documents of the notified bodies. This certificate gives you 100% how to say it, the confidence that the formulation can be used. And if you have a risk group 2, 3, or 4 product, you only need to test for risk group 2 only some basic parameters where you don't need the recipe. Only for risk group 1, and like I said, we can be the bridge then, so that the end manufacturer can immediately start the testing. We will arrange, if the manufacturer is allowing that, that also the testing parameters will go to the testing laboratory who will test it.
Okay. Will fittings and pipes are considered to be a raw material or a pre-material product in the database?
Fitting and pipes, well, fittings can be a component, so they are under the scope of the directive, and pipes are final products. But I feel more and more the need to also have final products in the database. But we keep you track on that. We keep you informed about that very soon on our website.
Honestly, I was in the call when we talked last week about the new functionality. So in the live database, there will be soon as well, like you remember the search functions, and I said, well, these are the products and so on. There will be as well end products.
Okay,
already,
clear. Okay,
ready for simple search available. Yeah.
Yeah. So the answer is yes.
Are there any more questions?
I don't think so. As quick as I can look, all the questions have been answered. But if not, please leave it here and we will go through it. And of course, put the answers also on the website.
Yeah, it's an hour ago when I said good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So I think that was an hour full of information, and yeah, I feel if I would just listen, information overload. So keep your time, go to fit4drinkingwater.com. There is again a lot of information and answers already there. You can have a look to the film. You can sign up for a free demo, which is of course then as well an hour, but just for you and your questions, your personal, or write an email to info@fit4drinkingwater.com with your questions or remarks, or just press the sign up for a quotation button as well on the fit4drinkingwater.com if you find everything interesting and perfect for you and your business, that you understood now. I could save time, I could save costs. Ask for a quotation and it will be with you as soon as possible. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining this webinar. It was a real pleasure to have you all on board and all these very, very detailed and very good questions. As I said, we as Fit for Drinking Water learn every day from you, and I hope it will be not the last webinar, because for me it was really useful and I learned quite a lot. So, thank you and goodbye.